Yes, I will say I could have been better. I could have let down my window, in that instant.
They did not just release a wide receiver. They released one of the most electric players the NFL has ever seen.
Floats it, Hill! Behind the defense, he is gone for the touchdown. No flag.
Before his guaranteed money could even kick in. Before the contract protections he earned through years of elite production could activate. Before the league could acknowledge everything he had already proven. The Miami Dolphins cut Tyreek Hill on President's Day 2026. And the Cheetah had a message for every single person who thought that was the end of his story. This was not just a roster move. This was not just a salary cap calculation. This was a franchise with a new general manager, a new head coach, and zero loyalty to the player who carried their offense for 4 seasons, deciding that sentiment had no seat at the table. Jon-Eric Sullivan and Jeff Hafley walked into the Dolphins building and made one thing clear. The rebuild starts now. Not in June, not after the combine, now. Tyreek Hill hit what front offices call the trifecta: age, injury, and a bloated salary. 31 years old, recovering from a dislocated knee and torn ACL, carrying a $51.1 million cap hit. The Dolphins saved $22.8 million by releasing him on that Monday morning. But here is what the spreadsheet could not capture. Here is what no salary cap calculation will ever measure. What the Miami Dolphins released was not just a player. They released a legacy in motion. And the entire NFL was about to find out exactly what that means. To understand why this moment hit differently, you have to go back to what Tyreek Hill actually was in Miami. When the Dolphins traded for Hill in 2022, they didn't just acquire a wide receiver, they acquired a force of nature. In his first 2 seasons in Miami, Hill posted back-to-back 119-catch, 700-yard campaigns. Back-to-back. Numbers that placed him in a conversation with the greatest receiving seasons in NFL history. He restructured his deal in 2024, agreeing to a new arrangement that pushed his guaranteed money to $106.5 million. At the time, it was the highest guarantee ever given to a skill player in NFL history. Let that land. The highest guarantee ever for a skill position player in the history of professional football. Then 2025 came. Week 4, a game against the New York Jets, a routine play, and then everything changed. Hill dislocated his knee, multiple torn ligaments, an ACL, surgery within days, season over. His agent Drew Rosenhaus rushed to deliver the best possible news he could. No nerve damage, no blood flow issues, no broken bones, cartilage intact. But the damage was real. The recovery timeline, 9 to 12 months minimum for an ACL alone, potentially longer given additional ligament involvement, left Hill's entire 2026 future uncertain. He finished 2025 with just 21 catches, 265 yards, and 1 touchdown. And now, with his guaranteed money gone and his cap number astronomical, the new Miami regime made their decision. President's Day, February 16th, 2026. The Dolphins released Tyreek Hill alongside 3 other players, clearing nearly $70 million in cap space in a single morning. Sullivan had already been on record saying he believed in building through the draft. Hill represented everything the old regime had sacrificed to win now. Draft capital burned, cap space constrained, championship windows missed. The new regime didn't just move on from Hill, they erased him from their plans without looking back. For most players, this is where the story ends. The quiet retirement announcement, the vague Instagram post about being grateful for the journey, the graceful exit from a league that had moved on. Tyreek Hill is not most players. Within days of his release, he posted on Instagram, and every word of that message told you exactly who this man is at his core. Quote, "Every chapter in life has taught me something. This one taught me leadership, resilience, and mostly gratitude. The love I have for this game is unexplainable. And right now, this off-season, for the first time ever, the Cheetah is all the way turned up and locked in, focused. The Cheetah don't slow down ever," end quote. Read that again. Cut before his guarantees. Recovering from one of the most brutal knee injuries in recent NFL memory, 31 years old, and his response to all of it was, "The Cheetah don't slow down ever." The moment Hill became a free agent, one conversation dominated every locker room, every front office, and every sports media platform in America. Was Tyreek Hill going back to Kansas City? Chris Jones, his former teammate, one of the most dominant defenders in the NFL, posted 2 words on X that sent shockwaves through the league. "It's time." That was it. 2 words, and the internet exploded. The logic made perfect sense. The Chiefs' offense has not been the same since they traded Hill in 2022. Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback on the planet. Andy Reid is still running one of the most sophisticated offensive systems in the game. And Tyreek Hill, when healthy, is still the most physically gifted receiver of his generation. But Andy Reid was not ready to confirm anything. At his press conference, the Chiefs head coach broke his silence on the reunion rumors. And what he said revealed everything about how teams are actually thinking about this situation. Quote, "We go through everything and everybody. That's how Brett does it. I don't even know if Tyreek is healthy right now to do anything. I'm sure he's working hard on that part of it, trying to get all that straightened out. We talk about everything, but we know what you know. And he's out there cranking away, trying to get himself back to where he can play, period." End quote. Read between the lines of that statement. Reid did not say no. He did not dismiss the possibility. He said there is nothing happening, but he also made it clear that the reason nothing is happening is not desire. It is the injury question mark hanging over a 31-year-old coming off a dislocated knee and torn ACL. The door is not closed. The door is being held open, quietly, while Kansas City waits to see if the Cheetah can truly get back to where he was. Here is the truth that this entire situation is really about. Tyreek Hill's career statistics are not the numbers of a man who should be forgotten. His 11,363 career receiving yards rank among the best of his generation. His 83 career receiving touchdowns. His 28 touchdowns of 50 yards or longer. 4th most in NFL history. 4th most all time. He is a 5-time All-Pro, an 8-time Pro Bowl selection, a Super Bowl champion, one of the fastest players to ever set foot on a football field, and yet here he stands. Cut before his guarantees, recovering from a brutal injury, fighting for one more shot at relevance while a 32nd birthday approaches. ESPN's injury analyst, Stephania Bell, said it best. Return to performance is different than return to play. Even when Hill gets medical clearance, there will still be a gap before he returns to pre-injury performance. The team that signs him must understand that. But here is what every team evaluating Tyreek Hill needs to ask themselves. When was the last time a player with 28 touchdowns of 50-plus yards was available on a prove-it deal? When was the last time a 5-time All-Pro was accessible on the open market at a discount? Precisely because of injury. While Mahomes in Kansas City still has his arm and Reid still has his playbook, the window is narrow, but it exists. The Miami Dolphins made a business decision. Nobody can fault them for that. But what they could not anticipate, what no front office calculation accounts for, is what happens when a generational talent refuses to accept the narrative written for him. The Cheetah has been counted out before. He has been doubted before. He has been traded, restructured, and now released. And every single time, he found a way to make the moment smaller than his response. This is not the end of Tyreek Hill's story, not even close. The only question now is which franchise is brave enough or smart enough to bet on a man who just told the entire NFL, in his own words, that he does not know how to slow down.
Which team should sign Tyreek Hill? Is a Chiefs reunion the move, or is there a better landing spot that makes more sense for his career and his legacy? Drop your take in the comments right now. We read every single one. And if you haven't subscribed to Snap Stories and Reels yet, this is your sign. Daily NFL drama, honest takes, and the stories the mainstream sports media doesn't tell you straight. Hit subscribe. The Cheetah wouldn't slow down, neither do we.